Hey everyone, I'm John Reams, an exercise physiologist here at NCHPAD, and today we are going to be doing some flexibility movement patterns, things that can help to improve the range of motion in some of the joints across your body. I'm going to be doing this routine with a couple of friends, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Hi everybody, my name is Ben Tomlinson. I'm a C6 complete quadriplegic. I was injured about 14 years ago. My injury is the result of a gunshot wound to the neck sustained during special operations in Afghanistan.
Yeah guys, my name is Clayton Brackett. I'm 32 years old. I've been injured for 30 years now. I am a C2 incomplete, and I look forward to stretching with you guys.
So we're going to approach this routine from the standpoint of a 5 for 5. We're going to do 5 different movements on each side of our body, and we're going to hold that position in that stretched position for 5 breaths. When I say we're going to hold it for 5 breaths, I'm going to encourage everybody to try to inhale through your nose for roughly 3 seconds and then exhale through your mouth for 3 seconds, and that'll count as 1 breath cycle. We're going to try to hold each stretch for 5 breath cycles. That, for most of us, is going to be about 30 seconds, and that's the general recommendation for the degree of time to hold a stretch for. The other thing I want to share with you guys is, please don't ever force yourself beyond what's known as your end range of motion. Your end range of motion is whatever point in the stretch where you feel a really dramatic or rapid increase in tightness or firmness in the muscles of that joint that you're stretching. Don't go beyond that. You don't have to force yourself into any position for stretching to be health protective. You want to stop at your end range of motion. Okay, so the first stretch we're going to perform is going to focus on the back side of our shoulders and our upper back, as well as the triceps, the muscles on the back side of our upper arm. I'm going to ask you to take one arm, grasp the opposing arm just above the elbow, and try to bring that arm across your body as far as you can, or to your end range of motion, to the position where you feel a really dramatic increase in tightness, but don't go beyond that. Once we're here, we're going to take 5 of those breath cycles. In through the nose for about 3 seconds and out through the mouth for about 3 seconds. You keep taking those breaths. I'm going to talk to you about a few ideas on how to get some more benefits from this stretch. As much as possible, try to straighten your arm from the elbow when it's in this stretched position, as opposed to keeping your elbow bent. As much as possible, straighten the arm and keep the other elbow pinned in close to your body as much as possible. I think that's about 5 breaths for most of us. We'll release that stretch and we'll move over to the other side of the body. You may find that different sides of your body have different ranges of motion or different end ranges of motion. For myself, my right side is a good bit more tight and resistant to stretching than my left side. So I've got a different end range of motion here. We're going to start those breath cycles now, in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Every time you exhale, try to imagine your end range of motion getting a little bit more extensive. Think about relaxing into the stretch. Don't hold your breath, don't force the stretch, and don't fight the stretch. There's no proper range of motion, there's no proper degree to force a stretch to. Stop at your end range of motion. We'll let that relax. We're going to move on to some lateral flexion and extension now for the spine. One way to begin this will be dropping your shoulder on one side toward the floor while bringing the opposing side shoulder up toward the ceiling. If you want to extend that range of motion a little bit, you could explore placing one hand behind your head, keeping the elbow open, and then leaning sideways into that stretched position. And we'll take those breaths now, in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. As you continue breathing, really try to remember to keep that elbow up, keep your shoulder open. You could even rotate your torso toward the back a little bit. You could rotate your torso forward and to the side a little bit. Options. I think that's about 5 breaths for most of us. We'll do the same thing on the opposing side. So you could start with a lean. I can already feel a different end range of motion on my right side. This side is more tight. I reach that end range of motion more quickly. You could try to bring that hand up behind your head, really trying to keep that elbow up, chest open, taking those slow breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Trying to relax into the stretch every time you exhale. Remember, you could rotate your torso back a bit. You could rotate it forward and to the side a bit. More options. We'll release that one. We're going to move down into the lower body now. You can reach around the front side of one knee or under the thigh of that leg. And I'm going to ask you to try and elevate that knee upward toward your chest as much as possible. So you're going to see us doing variations within this movement. If it's appropriate for you, try to bring the ankle of that same leg over to rest on top of the knee of the opposing leg. Or if you want to stick with the knee being brought toward your chest, stick with that one. We'll take those 5 breaths now. And what are some options that you do here, Ben?
So I like to pull my knee up as far as I can to my chest like this, using my opposite arm to brace myself. Then I like to twist my back to get a little bit extra stretch in my lower back.
Yeah, and that's a great point with speaking about the lower back. So Clay and I will try to accomplish a similar thing and open the area of our lower back up by, as we exhale, leaning forward and across the leg that we have elevated. Still taking those breaths, trying to relax a little more deeply into the stretch every time you exhale. We'll come back up into the upright position. We'll do the same thing with the opposing side leg. You can reach under the thigh, around the knee, whatever works best for you. Try to elevate that knee toward the chest. If it's appropriate for you, bring the ankle of that leg to rest on the opposing side knee. Ben's going to do his variation. We're going to try to open our hips and our lower back by inhaling, exhaling, and on the exhale, you can either slide forward, like I'm doing and Clay is doing, or you can try to rotate your torso in the opposite direction of the arm you're bracing with, like Ben was doing. Try to avoid holding your breath. Keep that cycle of inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, roughly 3 counts for each. We'll bring that back up and relax. let's get into some spinal rotation. So again, you're going to see us doing variations. If it's an option for you, or if you feel like it's an appropriate option for you, you can bring one leg across to rest on top of the other. If this is the version you're going to do, you can extend the opposing side arm across that leg and then try to rotate your torso in the same direction as that extended arm on the front side of your body. Ben's doing a variation here where his lower body is still in front of him, legs aren't crossed. Still trying to rotate the torso, and again, if you feel like it's appropriate for you, when you exhale, try to look back behind you and over that shoulder that you have facing to the back. We'll relax that. We'll do the same thing going the other direction. So I'm going to cross the opposing leg over. I'll bring my left arm across my right leg. Again, we're doing variations. You follow along with the variation that you feel like is the most appropriate for you. I'm going to reach back and hold the chair just for a little bit more stability. I'm going to try to turn my torso and my belly button in that direction, and I'll look over and behind myself as much as possible. Taking those breaths, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Trying to relax a little more deeply into the stretch each time. We'll unfold that and we'll get to the fifth stretch, the final stretch, or the final flexibility pattern. I'm going to take my left arm. I'm going to try to raise it to the front as far as possible, overhead, and take it down and back behind myself as I turn to follow that hand with my eyes. If you feel like it's appropriate for you to take your arm through that full circle, you can do that. If the chair you're in is wide enough that you feel like there's going to be an impingement that happens as you try to take that arm through the full circle, simply bring it back over the top for a 3/4 circle. So we're going to do this 5 times each arm, each of us moving at whatever pace we feel like is appropriate for us, trying to inhale and exhale as we go through the pattern, not rushing, but trying to allow for every repetition of this pattern to extend that end range of motion just a little bit. A lot of us experience different degrees of benefit from stretching and doing flexibility practices. A lot of those occur at different times. Some of us like to do this prior to a workout. Some of us find that we get more health protective benefits from doing it regularly throughout the day. How do you feed flexibility practices into your day, Ben?
So I'm really stiff when I wake up early in the morning, so my morning routine right after I wake up is to stretch my lower back and my hips and my legs before I get dressed and get out of bed, and that has been very beneficial for me throughout the day.
Yeah, I find the same thing occurs with me. I find it throughout the day. I really benefit from engaging in just short durations of some of these flexibility practices. What do you do, Clay?
Yeah, so I'm pretty big into sports, and so I find myself actually doing it more so right before a higher physical activity. And so, that's kind of I find my best time to stretch. I'm not kind of like Ben where he needs it to get out of bed in the morning. I don't need that. And so I just find it better to loosen up the muscles so I'm not tearing something when I go into to do an exercise.
Yeah, and the point here is that there's not necessarily a best time to do this. Try it both ways. Find what works for you. Thanks for watching the video. If there's anything here that you found meaningful, please comment on the video, like the video, and go subscribe to the NCHPAD YouTube channel. Bye.